Thanks, ladies. That's right. The Padres took on their freeway foe in the final game of their home opener, and it certainly was one of those games players and fans won't forget.
You're probably wondering how I got here. What does my career as a television journalist have to do with me being a teacher? You see, my desire to become a teacher wasn't part of the plan, but I'll get to that in a minute. To tell this story, I'll have to take you all the way back to 2013 when I graduated from San Diego State University. In 2013, when I was finishing up with a journalism degree, my plan was to become a sports reporter. It was my goal to share stories about both professional and amateur athletes, presenting stories beyond the respective fields they played on and creating human connection, humanizing these seemingly intangible and idolized athletes and connecting them with the person who felt unnoticed, unimportant, and misunderstood on the other side of the screen is what drove me, and it's what I was determined to do for the rest of my life. This was my plan until it wasn't. Working with people, telling stories, and fostering the human connection were some of the reasons why I wanted to be a journalist. But right before I was about to graduate, the thought of becoming a teacher started to reside in my heart. When I shared this with my mom, she laughed and said, "Lauren, you're a journalist. Be a journalist for now, and if you have the desire to be a teacher in 5 years, go do it." So I stored it away and promised myself I wouldn't forget about the desires of my heart. Sticking to the plan, I landed a job at ESPN. My dream journalism career move, the end goal of my entire plan. I packed up my things and moved all the way to Connecticut, away from everything and everyone I knew. But here I was, in the place where I knew I would get a chance to connect with people and share their stories to national audiences. My chance to create the human connection I had always wanted to was finally here. My life went from 0 to 100 as I found myself working on SportsCenter, college football, the Rose Bowl, the NFL Draft, the Scripps National Spelling Bee, and the Women's College Basketball Final Four. I traveled all over the country interviewing athletes, coaches, and some really smart kids. I was producing sports television for a living, and I had it made. So you're probably thinking, you achieved your goals. You worked on all these cool things with all these amazing people. Why aren't you still there? Well, I'm getting there. Like I said before, ESPN was the plan until it wasn't. Before I knew it, 5 years had passed. I had spent my young adult life sharing stories about people with people, just like I had always wanted to. But something was missing. I was so unfulfilled by my work. Sure, I was telling stories and creating human connection, but it was no longer challenging. I had no idea if I was making an impact on people like I originally wanted to. I needed something more. Now, remember way back in 2013 when the thought of becoming a teacher first entered my heart? Well, that thought never left me. Over the course of my 5 years at ESPN, I had slowly started to let go of my plan and let the idea of something new, something I was more passionate about, enter my life. As the thought of becoming a teacher grew bigger and bigger in my heart, the dots began to connect. Human connection, helping people feel understood and heard. These were all things I could do as a teacher with my students. This wasn't something I planned on doing. It was something I was supposed to be doing. So once again, I packed up my things, left everything I had known for the past 5 years, and decided to go for something I knew I was being called to. I was excited, scared, uncertain, but ready for a new challenge. Now, I'm no longer trying to humanize these idolized figures of the sports world on a daily basis, but my desire to humanize others in order to create connections still remains. Every day that I'm in the classroom, I try to help my kids see themselves as more than just the students they think they are in the classroom. I want them to see themselves the way I see them, as glorious people who have so much to offer the world, as people who have an impact on others even when they feel small. I want them to feel and know that they are more than the labels they have received, that they, with their life experiences and dreams, are capable of great things. I want them to feel understood, loved, and humanized.